fans, thanks for clicking on the Dreaded D-Rose report. Hope everybody had a great, safe weekend. TMZ, that's in everybody's business, you know, announced this morning that WWE is going to be inducting Mr. T into the Hall of Fame this year, but the article was quickly jerked down. I don't know if somebody like WWE finally told them what to do, but believe it or not, they did it. But I reported, I think, a few weeks ago, how Mr. T was on the list of inductions this year after being turned down. Well, he turned down the offer for years, I guess. So it was rumored that he finally accepted the induction, but Roddy Piper noted on Twitter that if Mr. T gets inducted, he would love to do the inducting for him. And the new WWE Slam City animated show, that was originally scheduled to debut online during WrestleMania weekend of this year, is apparently still happening. Xavier Woods, he's been attending. Don't know where he came in all at once and then he just left. But anyway, he's attending Dragon Con event coming up this weekend in Atlanta, Georgia. Bloomberg has an article up looking at, which I mentioned last week, what was it, American Music, AMC or somebody, I think, was wanting to buy WWE. They could do that. Anybody can come in there and buy it as long as they got the money. And kick McMahon right out. They want, well, being wise to do that. But anyway, Bloomberg's got an article up looking at who would WWE, if they were decided to sell the company, who should be interested in it, and who would be probably on the top rung. They listed Madison Square Garden, Comcast, and Ann Schultz Entertainment Group, who owns Live Nations and the Staples Center, as companies that would be likely to make an offer. Bill Apter of One Wrestling spoke with 2014 Hall of Famer Jake the Snake Roberts over the weekend, and as of late Wednesday, the doctors didn't know what type of cancer Jake has. I would get other doctors quickly. Zed Colder noted on Twitter that Cesaro and Jack Swagger will be making noise tonight on Raw, which, yeah. SeekingAlpha.com published a blurb on WWE today after rumors came out last week that AMC Network was interested in buying WWE. They also noted that media analysts think that if Vince McMahon decided to sell the controlling stake in his company, that a host of buyers would be waiting. They also noted that an attractive WWE franchise could be of interest to Madison Square Garden or Comcast, as the WWE Network is just starting to take hold. And by the way, the network's working great. I haven't had no trouble with it at all. As far as, you know, now I don't know what's going to happen at WrestleMania time. That streaming, if they had 1 million people trying to stream that thing, I don't know how that would work. Anyway, tonight's Raw is going to be taking place at the AT&T Center in San Antonio, Texas. Undertaker advertised for tonight's show, but Brock Lesnar's not. Heyman noted on Twitter that he's in Texas, so he'll be there. Love him. So anyway, the focus points for tonight's show: what will Triple H have in store for Daniel Bryan? Will the Shield face and have repercussions for not helping Kane out on SmackDown? And what's the next in the war of words between Bray Wyatt and John Cena? And who's next in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal? And will Orton and Batista make a preemptive strike on Daniel Bryan? And WWE Hall of Famer Trish Stratus helped New Balance reveal their spring-summer line of 2014 shoes. Anyway, there was a media up in Toronto, I guess, at the Spoke Club. Trish actually designed one of the shoes, the 574 Retro Running Lifestyle shoe. Hell of a deal. Anyway, I don't know if you caught that or not on Talking Dead, but CM Punk was on there last night on AMC and made no mention of pro wrestling, WWE, or WrestleMania. Punk was introduced as Phil Brooks, a.k.a. CM Punk, and his Twitter was plugged also. But the host, Chris Hardwick, mostly referred to him as Phil Brooks. And at one point, Punk commented, "Trust me, right now I'm a completely new person in regards to being called sweet by guests Yvette Nicole Brown while discussing the topic of forgiveness involving two characters on The Walking Dead. That was about it. Eventless. Davey Richards faced Robbie E in a match on for TNA Explosion Friday night taping in Orlando. Now, again, I mentioned this the other day, or last week. As noted, Kazarian and Daniels, they were not brought in for this week's Impact tapings because some concerned fans think that Daniels' contract expires in April. Kazarian's expires a short time later. Bad Influence not being used in the last 3 weeks on Impact may not be related to their contracts after all. Could be something else. Another top star not used at the tapings was Austin Aries. The word is that all three may not have been used due to TNA just trying to save money. And apparently they get paid per show. There's also a report of TNA hoping to use this set of tapings as a way to showcase and debut new talent. Only new talent were used were Angelina Love, Kenny King, Sonata, and Tiger Uno, Brittany, and Willow. Jeff Hardy. As noted, Layla, she returned to action finally on Friday with WWE Live Event, her first match since September 2013. And it's noted on Wrestling Observer Radio that Layla had been out of with some sort of an issue, but they weren't health issues. It was said that she had a really tough time, and noted before, PWI Insider reports that some people within WWE believed that Layla would never return, or would ever return, and that the report was backed up by on Observer Radio. Layla also worked a tag match at Saturday night's live event, teaming up with Alicia Fox to lose to Eva Marie and Natalia. Anyway, they didn't think she was going to return, but she had, I think it was an ankle problem a couple of years ago, and she was out with a long time on that. And if you have good old, painkillers that you're taking after having some surgery or something like that, or it's kind of hard to get off that stuff sometimes. Don't know if that's what it is. But anyway, when CM Punk first walked out on WWE, the idea of Daniel Bryan versus Triple H at WrestleMania 30 began being discussed. Anyway, people in every aspect of the company did not believe that Bryan would get the push. Something changed over the past few weeks, and CM Punk decided not to come back to the company. Sure helped Bryan. And a number of people at WWE have gone from being silent to patient when Punk first walked out, and having just attitude like, how dare he not come back and be a part of WrestleMania? That's the attitude they got backstage. But hey, if you don't want the money, just give it to me. Give it to somebody else, spread it around with all the other hard workers. And it's insinuated within WWE that the Yes Movement angle with Daniel Bryan on Monday's Raw was some sort of a verbiage used to mean to be the middle finger to CM Punk. An underlying message that this could have been you, but now it won't be. I don't know. It's a good thing they mentioned this, because I would have never thunk it. And it's no secret that several traditional pay-per-view providers have been worried about losing WWE pay-per-view business since the network has launched. And I'm not sure, unless I've missed it, I'm not sure how many are actually joining the network. How many people are there, are using it. And however many people are there, I think they've lost maybe just that much on pay-per-views too, as far as pay-per-view buys. And in-demand officials are reportedly worried about losing WWE pay-per-view business due to the network, and have been thinking of ways to make up for the potential loss. In-Demand has reached out to several numbers of pro wrestling event producers and some indie and TV promotions that have never been on pay-per-view before, with the idea of bringing in some new content that would air live and taped to the In-Demand. Hey, that could be a blessing for the smaller groups. Happy birthday to former TNA ROH World Champion Samoa Joe, 35 years old, TNA personality Lollipop, if you remember her. 35 years old, and today would have been the birthday of one-time WWF Intercontinental Champion Test. Would have been 39 years old. Thanks for clicking, you guys. I gotta go.